morning and welcome to Crafty Tuesday. And it's lovely to be with you again on this Tuesday morning. Thank you so much for all the things that you sent to me last week. It is just so lovely to receive them. And those strawberries looked really delicious. I love strawberries. I had strawberries for breakfast this morning. So it's lovely that they're in the shops and we can pick them at the moment. So, what are we going to do today? Today, we're going to think about hot air balloons. I don't know whether any of you have seen the film Up. If you haven't seen it, it is worth seeing. Try and get hold of it and watch it. It's a really lovely film. And today, we're going to make some of the hot air balloons. And the first one that I'm going to do is this one here. Very, very simple. But doesn't it look lovely? All you need to do is have a piece of coloured card, a piece of coloured paper, anything like that. Cut it out into the shape of a hot air balloon. If you cut it, fold it in half like that, then you can get the shape. And then it opens up like that. And then with a bit of glue, you only need to have a little bit of glue, and you can use the PVA glue. You just need to stick it onto a piece of paper like I'm doing here, and then when you've stuck it on, make sure it is quite important you stick it near the top of the paper, because remember underneath it you've got to get the balloon basket and things like that. And when you've stuck it on like that, then you need to do the basket. How you do the basket is up to you, because there's lots of different ways you can do the basket. You could just draw it on with felt tip pens, or you could make it with other pieces of paper, which is what I've done there. And then you can put the basket lines on there where the ropes are from the basket, and then decorate it. And depending what paper you've used, you can decorate it in lots of different ways. I've put stickies on the one I've done, just shiny sticky stickers on there. If you've used just plain coloured paper, you could paint it. You could put splodges of finger paints on there, or you could stick other bits of paper on there, or so many different things you can do. But you can decorate the balloon. And then if you look closely at the one I've done there, I've then drawn some people in the hot air balloon. I wonder if any of you, or the people that you're living with at home, your mums or your dads, or even your grandmas or granddads, have ever been for a ride in a hot air balloon. I haven't. I've got a friend who has, but I've never been in one myself. So that's one we can do. And then the next thing that we can do is this one here. And this one is done with buttons. If you've got at home some buttons, all you have to do is just stick the buttons on the piece of card. You will have to do this on card. You can't do it on paper because otherwise the buttons are too heavy. Lots of different coloured buttons, and make them into the shape of the balloon again. If you pencil the balloon on first, or get the grown-up at home with you to draw the shape of the balloon, just stick the buttons on. I did it with just ordinary glue, and it did set. It was set quite quickly. And then I used on this one string. And then can you see the house that I made? Just made the house out of little bits of scraps of paper that I had, or coloured paper. That's, I don't want to go and spoil the film for you, but that's where the film Up comes into it. So it's a bit of a funny thing to have, not a basket, but have a house. But if you watch the film, and I won't spoil it for you, that's why I put that on there. And then the last thing that I did, the very last thing I did, was this one here. And that is almost like a model of a hot air balloon, isn't it? I like that. Quite simple. It wasn't complicated to do it, but you will need help with this one. I had to have a bit of help with this one because you need to have lots of fingers and hands, and we've only got 2 and 10 fingers, haven't we? 8 fingers and 2 thumbs. So what you do is you get the paper plate. Did you think, oh, Crafty Tuesday, no paper plates? That's a big difference. But get the paper plate, cut the paper plate out into the shape roughly of the hot air balloon, which actually isn't difficult at all because paper plates are pretty hot air balloon shape anyway. You only have to put a little bit at the bottom. And when you've got the shape of the balloon as you want it, again, you probably might need to get an adult just to help you with it. But when you've got the shape, which I'm not doing very well at the moment, when you've got the shape, just what I did with this one, there we are, that's better. When you've got the shape of your balloon, just get some. I used an old magazine here. This is an old gardening magazine. Just cut up bits of paper from an old magazine or anything like that and just stick them on. I just ripped out a page. I've got it here from the gardening magazine. Just make sure it's nice if you get nice bright colours. Just like that, cut them out and stick them onto your plate. Again, you can just stick them on with the same type of glue as you used for your buttons. Fill up the whole balloon shape like I did there. You see, I've started on that one like I did there. When you've done that, you have to do the basket. There's lots of different ways you could do the basket. I did this basket with a little bit of kitchen roll. I just cut a bit of kitchen roll and then covered it up with the same paper that I'd used to make the balloon. So that's probably a good way of doing it. But there are other ways. So we'll talk about other things that you can use in a few minutes, but that's how you do it. Then you need to get some string, just ordinary string, or if you've got coloured string like I have here, this is just ordinary string, and you just have to sellotape it on. It is just a matter of sellotaping it on, and that's where you're going to need help. I've discovered that sellotape doesn't work as well as if you use really, really strong tape. And you can see here that I've used strong tape on the back. So you might have to look in the garage again or ask Dad or somebody else if they've got strong tape. And if you can use that, it will stick it much better. And then you just put it all together and you've got your hot air balloon, and then you can hang it up. This one I made earlier in the week actually, and it's been hanging up for a little while. But you do have to make sure that it doesn't look very nice on the other side, but you must make sure that it's well and truly stuck up and taped well. Here you are. I'm sure your dad knows what it's like, or whoever's at home, but it's just tape like that. Looks a bit ugly, doesn't it? But that's the tape you have to use. So there's 3 different ways there of doing a hot air balloon. Actually, there's so many other things you could do, and I saw lots of ideas when I was trying to find out what you could do. You can just do a hot air balloon on a straight paper plate like this, and you don't have to cut it or anything. If you're only a little person, it's probably the best thing to do. And then get some straws and just sellotape the straws on the back like that, and put a cardboard basket at the bottom, have a pretty pattern on the top, and that's quite simple as well, and just stick the basket on a little bit like we did in the first one. Or if you want to get really clever, you could use string and you could use a paper cup. And if you did that, if you've got some small toys like small little teddy bears or Lego people, you could put them in there and you could do it like that. So there's lots of different things that you can do to make hot air balloons. So just to go back over what we have done, we've done the one with the buttons with the house, which is from the film Up. We've done the one that's just cut out pieces of paper, like that one there, and then we've done this one with the paper plate and the kitchen roll, like that one. So again, I'll find some pictures that we'll put onto our Facebook page that you can colour in. So thank you for coming to Crafty Tuesday, and it's been lovely to have you here. Thanks a lot. Goodbye.